Hijo de puta. Calma, so mine. Eu carreo.
Vos, Aru, ten cuidado que acá te banean la cuenta. Vos, Tigus, picá.
Sí.
Cara.
Ay, pará que necesito meterle. Ahí va. Voy a subir el level, quería meter otro puntito de maestría.
Tienen que ser felices en la vida.
Tengo que ser feliz la vida.
¿Ves? Este es un Yasuo de muy
El novio Yasuo. Está
Un
ligado.
Yasuo no flamer. No flamea vos. No, ¿cómo es eso?
¿Cómo es?
Bueno,
No,
vamos
no.
todos. ¿Top o bot? ¿Qué les gusta más?
Como quiera. Ah, él pidió mid lo que pasa, así que vamos todo
Ir
bot.
2 y 2. ¿Por qué? No vamos a agarrar nada de experiencia.
Arbustos o ceja, haz áreas verdes. No entiendo nada. No
Tampoco.
entiendo nada. No entiendo nada.
Ah, ¿ya están los bots intermedios? Aru puede jugar desde la
¿Eh?
Qué raro.
¿Y quién
Sí,
es el
sí, se
ADC
puede.
acá?
Eh.
Nami.
Nami. Nami.
What
Six.
the
Oh,
fuck?
Six te estaba usando de
Ah,
hace
pero ¿qué es
no.
esto?
Es
Estaba
verdad.
todo bien, viene Aru y aparece un Blitzcrank.
Es verdad.
A Blitzcrank chino.
Blitzcrank.
¿Quiénes vamos top y quién es bot?
Como Karen.
O Norman. Día 4.
4,
Y se llama Red
Portal.
Blood, pero le falta una O.
la risa de Ashe acá.
O Blood en inglés, sin la O. O sea, de sangre.
¿A dónde vamos? ¿A bot o a top?
2 y 2.
Estamos no caminho certo.
Pero Aru está yendo.
Boas-vindas a
Salí de
Summoner's
mí.
Rift.
Se enamoró de Yasuo.
Alguien que venga conmigo.
Viu minha maestría. ¿Qué maestría tenía?
Tenía maestría 4.
Oh, aquelas tropas bonitinhas vão vir em tipo. 30
Yumina
segundos.
maestría.
20
Eu
segundos.
sempre ataco do alto. Dê uma boa olhada, pois será a última coisa que verá.
Tropas liberadas. Hora da ação.
Vamos logo. Olha só isso.
El tipo no debe entender nada.
El tipo se está peleando con
Faz
Six
um
ya.
arco de gelo.
Se lo mata. ¿O no?
O muere él.
Ahí se muere.
First Blood.
Ay. Ah, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué?
Dale, Aru, pégale. Pégale.
Que no debe ni
No
tener
te
ganas.
importe nada.
No estoy pegando.
No, para, la torre, la torre.
Preciso de amor.
Awesome. Ya gasté el final. ¡Flashó y todo!
Flash.
Faça valer.
Ojo que te meten abajo de la torre y estás
Ajá. Cuidado. ¿Qué tiras gel?
Estás re quemado. Mira.
La Nami te está pegando básico, Saru. Qué re quemada está Nami. Yo me quedé para allá.
No, Blitzcrank. Cabió el pito igual. Cagaron una piña en
Seu
los pies.
brilho se apagou
Uy, no.
de vez.
Me retrolearon los
¿Qué
niños.
hace mierda?
Ah, tiene el escudito.
Yo no tengo mana.
Mais
Fue eso para dar una emosado, dice. Sí.
Pero la Nami me pega básico re quemada. ¡Ah! Mario, si casi te matan acá.
¿No es Hibu?
¿Eh? ¿Qué pasó?
Hibu.
¿Qué? ¿Hola?
Hibu.
¿Qué?
Era como un escudo porque le pegabas.
¿Eh?
Como un escudo verde.
No tenía eso.
Ale,
Estoy
deja las
descubriendo
drogas.
nuevos poderes.
Por favor,
En
me
Brasil
preocupa.
hay
Ah, en serio.
No. Oh.
Oh, gracias. No era, es el play.
Llegó.
Sí. ¿Cómo va? ¿Dónde va?
Dale, Aru. Dale, pégale, pégale, fantasma.
Ahora sí me tendría que ir, pero mana.
Oh, me la quiero. Dale, en básico.
O inimigo tá morto.
Oh, mano, matalo.
No llego, no llego, no.
¿Dónde está el buche
No
que se
tengo
empieza a
nada.
vaquear?
No, qué trolo. Lo encerramos.
Vete.
Ahora tengo una doble, tengo una doble.
Unidos somos mais fortes.
Sí, qué buena. Oh, qué asco. Este es allí. El rugido. Easy. Todavía no me da para las cosas.
Eu unirei inferior.
Recién veo que el Yasuo puso fue para darle
Sí,
emoción.
viste, pulsó para dar una emoción. El carreo. Calmau.
Dale, que muere.
El carreo.
No, no murió.
Mais rápido que minha flecha.
Están cagando a palo los niños.
Todo el odio.
Pegas, Konami. Claro. No tengo maná.
Una más.
¡Me sigue re quemada! ¡Mirala! What the fuck? Cuidado. ¡Ah!
Eso está todavía ahí.
Venite.
Vamos avançar.
Tengo toda la patrulla.
Eso de que todo.
Uma menos.
Oso. No pego.
La tiramos, la tiramos, la tiramos.
Vaya, subo.
Ay, no.
Não consigo.
Ay, no. Prendió fuego.
Dale, dale, ayúdalo, ayúdalo, ayúdalo. Tirale trampas, algo, tirale.
A sua equipe é tão legal.
Todo legal. A su equipo es todo legal. Muy bizarro.
No es de Yasuo. No importa nada.
As main.
Ven.
Pumba.
Enfurecido.
Fiquem juntos.
Ay, ya tiramos.
Torre destruída.
Mira el Blitzcrank. Pobre.
Ew.
Ay,
Ahí ese cohete de Aru.
Casi.
pobre Aru.
Murió Yasuo, what?
¿Qué le pasó?
¡Ah, me hacen mierda! Me hacen mierda.
Até mesmo as estrelas.
Me mató Nami con una ola, no lo puedo creer.
La olita de nada.
Dominando.
É assim que se combate as trevas.
Bueno. Sabe?
Eles não sabiam contra quem estavam lutando.
O menos.
No, me agarró.
No. Oh, resiste, Ashe.
Ahora me agarra con el gancho, ¿viste? Hola, Luz. Salió Gerardo. Gracias. El chiste te protege.
La brisca de mí. No,
Qué
dale
calzón.
eso.
Vamos a darle a la tabla.
¡Puta! Me maté haciendo el coso y me lo roba.
Ah, qué basura. Es la venganza por el cohete.
Acá hay alguien. Voy al chineo.
Lo que los tramos.
Seu aliado foi eliminado.
Cuidado.
Genial eso de Six, que puede hacer tipo la insect.
Ah, sí, está bien.
Acá.
¿Matá? Lo que le quedó.
Mortinho da
Todo
Silva.
el abuso.
Torre destruída.
Toma. ¿Se fueron para ahí?
¿Quién?
Bot.
Re que yo estoy hecho mierda, me tendría que ir.
Escucho este y me voy. Algo de arcoiris dijo.
Sí.
Eu não nos desencaminharei.
Seu aliado foi eliminado.
Déjame te había puesto más aquí. Dale, une.
Do seu coração se apagou. Double kill. Torre destruída.
Oh, te la
Me lo
doy lleno.
tiró.
Todo el odio. Daño. Lo que le quedó. Ay, la mató. Grande. Ay, lo que pega. Flasho. No, qué largo.
Torre destruída.
Pinche Six.
Seu aliado foi eliminado.
¿Qué hace Alfo?
Fiquei
Armory.
deprê agora.
Armory. É, o tipo de protege.
Não confunda piedade com fraqueza.
Tira a torre, chino.
Nada.
R.
Das estrelas não
Y asistencia.
Sí.
Sabiam contra quem estavam lutando.
Asistencia. Sí.
Seu brilho se apagou de vez.
Dijo algo Yasuo. No está peleando con su pariente chino ahí.
Pariente chino. Mentira.
A sua equipe é tão legal.
A la calle.
No me importa nada. Voy a tirar fantasma.
Este bicho gordo. No vaya. No tienen vida.
No, hace. Me tiró encima arriba.
Qué chido.
Foi longe.
¿Qué hace este Yasuo?
Mató.
Me metí para adentro, wey.
¿Qué? ¿Qué haces?
Todavía me tiró el Ignite y no me pegó, tipo, me siguió nomás. A morir.
Oh, ese gordo se te quedó a la real. Mira que te veo en la puntita de la E, tipo, fuck it.
Eu unirei Freljord.
Se tiró un pedo, tipo.
Pará, que toda la patrulla acá.
Ay, Aru.
Ah, pero yo no tengo...
De caca.
Muero. Legal. Algo foi me eliminado.
Se eliminó un amigo.
¿Qué hace el main?
Dale, hacer cosas de
Yasuo.
Torre destruída.
aluminio.
No entiendo lo que dice. Mira, acá hay un gordo. Se agarró.
Se prendió fuego. Ese gordito con Ignite. Se fue eliminado. Para que el main. Pégale otro. No. No, mira la vida que le quedó.
Voy lento, pero voy.
Geniales. Estamos juntos, no sé qué
Un grito de Nami. ¡Ah! Lol,
Yo, ey.
la mataba, creo.
Torre destruída.
Esa ulti.
Destruiu o inibidor.
No,
No, lo agarraron.
Gordo.
No, qué hijo.
Soy un ser humano.
un metió armar.
No, Aru.
Isso foi divertido. Este bicho
Aru, te van a hacer puré. Ah, no, Yasuo.
Dale, rookie el cap.
Se lo
Uy, se
come.
tragó nomás, te dejo pa' aquí. Mirá, te sigue, te sigue. Gordito.
Listo.
Estamos no fim.
Ya amaneció.
Mentira.
Escucho los pájaros cantar acá.
Seu brilho se apagou de vez.
Va todo el odio ese chino. Tiene una R.
Esta es la última que fue.
Va R, va R, va R.
A torro, torro.
Se comió todo.
Tinho da Silva. Não sabíamos quem estavam lutando.
Enemigo batido.
Desencaminharei.
Cállense un pajarito. No espera todavía. ¿Por qué cantan en las... Bueno, si son las 5 de la mañana. ¿Estás tú? No.
Muro para tapar los hits de la torre.
El buen
Destruído.
toda la wea. La cagada. Qué feo es.
¡Ah! ¡Pero me agarró!
A mí también. Me hizo. Ese gordo de mierda.
Vos esa nave invoca más Q que yo, qué triste, ¿no? ¿Pero dónde decís? No, no desaparezcan.
Double kill.
Toca en el hook.
Se prendió fuego y después te cago la curva. Es mía, o sea, ni siquiera se la dejó al chino. Eso es un super, ¿viste?
Todavía son re negros los bots. Mira, 3 con Ignite.
Eso es un buen super. Brinca, tiene ignite y le pega la culpa a llevárselo.
Pero hay hagamos me hace un blue shire.
Entonces me hace blue shine. Después te va a dar pack y nadie me hace caso. Ah, ese te ayuda. Bueno.
Ah, estás ahí. ¡Me pegas! Dale.
¿Qué me hace dragón?
¡Ah! ¿Pero qué hago? ¡No!
Dale, desune gordo.
Tiene un blue, ten cuidado. Está como indeciso, ¿qué le pasa? Tirale una
¿Qué
ulti.
tiene tú?
Ahí va.
¿Qué cumplió?
O inibidor inimigo está voltando.
No, está pulsando. Pulsando. Pulsando.
Qué rico combo.
Seu brilho se apagou de vez.
Llegamos ya.
Con este ya subo, sabelo.
Destruiu o inibidor.
Chino.
¿Qué? Flashó contra el coso acá.
Torre destruída.
No, qué negro. No.
Double kill inimigo.
Hay una Nami.
Matar el Blitzcrank y a la enemy.
¡Ah! ¡Salgan!
He armado el Blitzcrank.
Torre destruída.
No, pero voy a hacer algo. Me voy a sacar esto.
¿Qué haces acá? Nadie te quiere.
Ay, te-
O brilho do seu coração se apagou.
Oh,
Hacen salir.
Inimigo foi eliminado.
Agarré. Ay, por eso me pegaron. Ay, le
Time
pego,
da Silva.
creo. Allá va. Sí, le pego a Nami. Yo... No sé comprobar.
Tipo,
não
a
vou
sua
comprar.
equipe é tão legal.
Quiero tener la misma que Aro.
salió.
No,
Quê? Acabou?
Ese cohete.
es que mi R pasó por el mismo camino.
Cetim beleza.
Sí, beleza.
Vamos todos a darle al Yasuo.
Sobre qué tono.
No, eso es Yasuo.
No, ya
Pero
soy
vamos.
bueno.
Sí.
Es un main. Yo subo.
Oh, yo quiero un Blitzcrank de esto de bot para...
Sí. Sobulisca. Era un gancho Sobulisca. Eso está de menos, ahora te empecé a ponerlo, no lo cerro. Que... Se va de su
Me voy.
Nos vamos todos, creo.
Sí, son ya 5.
Sí, los pájaros ya me están cantando.
Pajarito, normal. Voy a asumir. Adiós, Desune.
Bueno, chao, Alfa.
Chao.
Chao, gente.
Adiós, mamá.
A todos.
Nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Descanse.
Bye, bye.
Adeus. Bye bye.
You gonna let Gordon throw the switch?
No.
Hey, yeah.
Well, that's a tremendous relief. Gordon, as soon as you're in position, we'll send you to Eli's. Gordon? Please, Gordon, put on your suit.
Power armor is for pussies.
Oh, dear.
Oh my god, look at that posterior. You're a cute little thing, aren't you? Would you look at that? By Schrodinger's cat! It's amazingly large. I cannot believe it is so round. My anaconda don't want none unless you've got buns on.
Hey, he's back! What? Hey, come on! Oh, dear, you're right. If you'd be so kind. Yeah. At least get that suit, Gordon.
Fuck you.
Gee, thanks.
What's happening?
It's your pet, the freaking head humper! Come on! No! No!
Hey, Doc. What's going on?
That's some bullshit.
I'm not sure. There seems to be a massive Pingansium stuck in the Arcrea program while taking the...
Shut up and be glad you're still some use to us.
Something is luring him away.
Damn, that's a cold-ass honky.
Well, well, if it isn't Gorgeous Freeman. I require that ass immediately. Well, fuck. Back to porn, then.
Damn it! Get that thing. Hey, go! Well, Gordon, I see your HEV suit. You're pissing me off, Doc.
Now, come on now. You need to get out of here.
We're losing him again.
Enough of your bullshit!
Well, it looks like you're completely surrounded. I've struggled 20 years to become the Earth Leader, blah blah. I can't have you ruining it, blah blah. I was beaten when I was a baby boy, blah blah. Obvious monologue, blah blah. You escaping, blah. What? But my plan was so perfect.
Then where is he?
Behind you!
Ah!
Turn off that shit!
Gordon, you must get out of here! Run!
Next time, gorgeous. Next time. Son of a...
They're crap. And some of their shows, but Cartoon Network isn't perfect. And some of their shows are, well, they're crap.
Our strained bladders have made us a weak and oppressed race.
Bladder.
For the record, this was really painful to research. I had to go back and rewatch all of these shows to make sure I was being 100% accurate. And it was a challenge. Some of these shows made me physically cringe.
You look so dumb talking to your imaginary characters. Calzara, I will destroy you!
This is the top 10 worst Cartoon Network shows. Number 10, The Cramp Twins. I never really bothered to watch this show when it was on Cartoon Network. It just didn't look that appealing to me. The designs of the characters were off-putting and very obtuse, especially the teacher.
Extra thick!
There are also these lines around the characters that I find distracting. Like, are they having a seizure? What purpose do these lines serve? I am all for stylized design, but I don't care for it here. To be fair, the personalities of the characters and the writing itself are not terrible, but it's quite boring. I found myself looking at my phone, wondering, when's this episode going to be over? There was only one joke that I laughed at, and I don't even know if it was on purpose.
My, Wayne. What a magnificent rack. Did you make that yourself?
Number 9. Teen Titans Go. I can only imagine that you guys are shocked that this is so high up on my list. But when you take the show apart, it's not as bad as you think it is. That does not mean that it's perfect though. It's far from it.
Scoot your booty, that booty, and I do the booty scooty. Scoot your booty, that booty, and I do the booty scooty.
Teen Titans Go mainly suffers from a rough history. It was the successor to the original Teen Titans, an action show that was very popular. and never truly had a conclusion. Instead, the fans got Teen Titans Go, and both Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers have not looked back since.
Now hand over that remote, nice and slow like. My butt's got an itchy trigger.
The characters, writing, and animation are not terrible. There are even some episodes where I laugh out loud. But then I remember what this show took away from me, and I get salty about it. To make matters worse, Teen Titans Go even makes fun of the fact that Teen Titans was replaced. But, to be fair, they also make fun of themselves.
That looks like us, but better!
These Teen Titans were about character development.
Us!
To be fair, they also make fun of themselves.
That looks like us, but better!
These Teen Titans were about character development, drama, and heart. These Teen Titans were about character development, drama, and heart.
I used to be so much cooler.
In combination with
drama,
but better,
they also make fun of themselves.
That looks like us, but better.
These Teen Titans were about character development, drama, and heart.
I used to be so much cooler.
In combination with how often the show is aired.
These Teen Titans were about character development, drama, and heart.
I used to be so much cooler.
In combination with how often the show is aired, and how hard Cartoon Network pushes it, it's no surprise why so many viewers don't care for Teen Titans Go. It also suffocates other shows on the network. I'm going to do a separate video about Teen Titans this month, so we'll talk about them more in greater detail later. Again, it's not a horrendous show, but it's absolutely a shadow of its former self.
Shall we do the carpool? It was the four-way tie.
Number 8. Dude, What Would Happen? Again, another show I didn't really watch when it aired on Cartoon Network. I was still bitter at the network for removing cartoon shows and replacing them with live-action content. I mean, it says cartoon in your name. Why would you push this type of stuff? I watched a few episodes though, and I did not really find it appealing. The hosts of the show are over the top and get on my nerves. The camera angles are crappy, and they have too many jump shots. Also, you can tell that Cartoon Network was being very cheap with this show. I want to be fair though. The show isn't absolute garbage, but I think it would be more at home on Nickelodeon. It fits the feel of the channel better, but for Cartoon Network, absolutely not, especially when it's a replacement for its animated programming. Number 7. Johnny Test. As this list goes on, my forgiveness will start to run out. Now, I have a little for Johnny Test, but not much. Johnny Test aired in 2008 and arrived when the old shows on Cartoon Network were starting to retire. So instead of Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls, we were getting this cheap stuff, and I mean that. You can tell that there was a drop in animation quality with Johnny Test. In my eyes, Johnny Test was a complete rip-off of Dexter's Lab. They just kind of reversed the roles of Dexter and Dee Dee and made a few other alterations. But a smart redhead with an annoying sibling? Yep, that's been done before. I also find the sound effects to be obnoxious. They use way too many, and the show is known for its addiction to whip cracks.
Oh, I love gum, 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 gum.
Stop chewing gum! Nothing good comes from chewing gum, Johnny. Just sticky bubbles and tooth decay.
Ed, Edd, and Eddy use a lot of sound effects, but they made them work. They were well timed, but for Johnny Test,
Just sticky bubbles and tooth decay.
Ed, Edd, and Eddy use a lot of sound effects, but they made them work. They were well timed, but for Johnny Test, it's just overkill. Ed, Edd, and Eddy use a lot of sound effects, but they made them work. They were well timed, but for Johnny Test, it's just overkill. Lastly, I find it strange that the love interest for Johnny Test is a girl that looks like him, and her name is Sissy. What's that about? Is there some Freudian stuff going on here? Number 6. Out of Jimmy's Head. This show was a spin-off of the Cartoon Network movie Reanimated. Cartoon Network pushed it as this big deal that was alike to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Guess what? It wasn't. There are barely any animated characters in the show. It's funny how Cartoon Network advertised this show by featuring the animated characters, but they only appear a few times in each episode. Also, they don't really serve any purpose. You could remove them, and the show functions just fine. To make matters worse, there's a laugh track, and they use it way too much. Like, the audience is laughing during moments that aren't even purposely funny.
On your left column, in your left windows, air all around you, air all around you.
The only time I laughed at this show was when there was an attempted assassination.
Fair play! Over here!
Number 5. Almost Naked Animals. I don't understand the appeal of characters that are ugly or gross.
We just had a bit of bad luck. This year is gonna be different.
Like, do kids enjoy this stuff? Do they like cartoon characters that are in their underwear and have their nipples showing? I know that gross-looking characters were popular in the 80s and 90s, but I think that trend died out in the 2000s. But then again, kids appear to love these creepy and graphic cartoons on YouTube. So, what do I know? I do know, though, that Almost Naked Animals is trash. Despite its fast pace and LOL random humor, the show itself is very boring. I did not laugh at all while watching it. It's just stupid humor for the sake of being stupid. Number 4. The Problem Solvers. Speaking of LOL random humor, we got this show. Problem Solvers is truly difficult to watch. It features some of the worst character designs I have ever seen in a show. Like, they actually hurt my eyes.
I'm so glad I found you, Problem Solvers!
What is it?
I took my elementary school class to the weird amusement park. They all went on the roller coaster and came back like this!
The stories are fast-paced and feature rapid jokes that aren't even funny. It's just weird for the sake of being weird.
Pizza. Awesome. Give me some pizza. Oh boy. Pizza.
Ed, Edd and Eddy was a strange show, but I was able to follow it. I was able to invest in the characters, but I don't care for the cast of Problem Solvers. They are just obnoxious and unpleasant. The first season of the show aired on Cartoon Network, but the second season never aired. It eventually arrived on Netflix, and that was the end for the show.
Cool, I'm home. Look more awesome now. Uh-oh, dinosaur. Pizza's so good, though.
Thank God. The show was originally pitched to Adult Swim, but was passed off to Cartoon Network. Honestly, I believe Problem Solvers would have had a better chance on Adult Swim, since weird shows are kind of a norm there. But for Cartoon Network, nope. It's just too random, and the colors are way too much. I mean, I appreciate that they're trying to do something different, but it just doesn't work. Number 3. Secret Mountain, Fort Awesome. From the makers of Uncle Grandpa, we have Secret Mountain, Fort Awesome, a show about obnoxious and gross-looking monsters going on adventures. It's odd. I don't actually hate Uncle Grandpa. I don't really care for it, but it's not a terrible show. But this, oh my god, it's utter garbage. Just like Problem Solvers, the designs of the characters are awful. One's a talking butt that farts when it walks around. This show is full of stupid poop humor, which I really never cared for. Some people might like it, but not me. It's just too much.
One, two. I can't believe I'm saying this. I hope I never see another pizza again.
Regular Show had a crazy cast of weird-looking characters that found themselves in crazy adventures. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome kind of follows the same structure, but it fails where Regular Show succeeds. The characters are unappealing, the humor is LOL random, and doesn't flow well, and the stories are crude. Number 2. Annoying Orange. For most of the shows on this list, I watched them with a boring look on my face, or one of disapproval. But for Annoying Orange, I was actually shouting at my TV. I mean, good God, how many terrible elements can one show have?
I don't shuffle, I bounce! Whee! Sometimes I roll. Rolly, rolly, rolly.
Cut it out!
First off, it looks awful. I could do a better job with special effects with my own green screen. Second, the writing is atrocious. The show is proud of its puns, but I wouldn't even call them that. Puns require some kind of connection to what you are talking about. For Annoying Orange, they just shove a word into a sentence and call it a pun.
I wear it every year to honor them. On Fruit Dependence Day.
Fruit to what you say?
Fruit Dependence Day.
And finally, the humor is incredibly crude. Just lowbrow comedy that comes across as obnoxious. Annoying Orange originally came from the internet, and it should have stayed there. People have tried to bring online content to the mainstream before, and it usually fails. But to be fair, even the internet version of Annoying Orange is terrible, so it wasn't like it was destroyed when it came to television.
Hey, Flexi Gravy. Oh, Orange Nugget style. Hey, Midget Apple. I really don't know what's going on here, you guys.
And number 1, the worst show on Cartoon Network is Powerpuff Girls 2016. This show embodies everything wrong with Cartoon Network. Yeah, I get it. People are angry at Teen Titans Go, and I can relate. But what Powerpuff Girls 2016 did to the original, it's about as insulting as you can get. There is absolutely no respect for the original source material here.
BFF Bubbles, pick Buttercup's nose.
Please don't. Ew.
Again.
Please don't. Ew.
Again, Teen Titans Go is not perfect, but at least it maintains some of the traits of the original Teen Titans. Side characters and villains appear. Also, they were able to use the original voice actors. But for Powerpuff Girls 2016, it's as if they went, how can we make the opposite of the original Powerpuff Girls? Oh, I know! Ignore that they are superheroes, and make it more slice of life.
Relax, Gloss. You made one bad call. It's not a big deal. I fail all the time, and look at me. Whoa.
Now, I realize that the original Powerpuff Girls were not all action episodes, but we never forgot that they were superheroes, that they were there to save the day. They would go out and fight bad guys and monsters, and it really rocked. My sisters and I, despite being from different demographics, absolutely love the show, but now it's just terrible. Very few elements of the old show remain in the new one, and the ones that do remain aren't being used properly. Powerpuff Girls 2016 is more about being hip, modern, and quirky, and that was not what the original was about. When I initially saw the intro for the new Powerpuff Girls, I was excited. It looked really good, but the show does not deliver. Also, they never even went back to the original creator of the show for help. They did it without him and his crew, and they messed it up. The stories are not interesting, and the action is super boring.
So that's what that stuff does? Girls! Plan Z43!
I don't think it's bad for a show to try something new. The new DuckTales mix things up with its rebooted version, but they still maintain the core values of the original. But Powerpuff Girls 2016 does not care about its source material, and that's insulting to the fans of the original show. It's funny, because the show barely airs now. It was a failure, and Cartoon Network knows it. Yeah, they're trying to build some attention with this fourth Powerpuff Girl, but once again, the original source material already has a fourth Powerpuff Girl. Heck, it has a fifth. They crap. Heck, the original some attention with this fourth Powerpuff Girl. But once again, the original source material already has a fourth Powerpuff Girl. Heck, it has a fifth. They crapped on the legacy of the original, and they weren't able to capitalize on the reboot. Hopefully, shows like Samurai Jack and DuckTales can inspire Cartoon Network to never go down that path again. Hey guys, thank you all for
We're home!
Me. Heifer, you're here to lose that big cut, not eat.
The more I eat, the more weight I get to lose.
Okay, people, let's go. Let's go. Don't just stand there like slugs on a cabbage. Ta-da! Hi, everybody. First of all, I want you all to give yourselves a big hand for just being here. Can we have a great big hug? A big group hug. Come on. All right. It's party time. Get those bodies warmed up. Let's go. And a 1 and a 2 and an on your backs. Now grab your tushies and pedal. Let's go. Get up, get up. Now, shake those arms and spread and spread.
As long as The Simpsons, or even
I've stuck in Dinosaurville.
T-Bone Furlong and Razor Clausen were demoted from their law enforcement
High school years, and each other.
Look, Gimpy, college isn't that big of a deal.
College is about more than studying and partying. It's about finding yourself. Or trying, at least.
This is a campus of 45,000 people. Between now and tomorrow, hundreds of people are gonna do things stupider than what you did. Get over it.
The short-lived undergrad.
Tomorrow, hundreds of people are gonna do things stupider than what you did. Get over it.
The short-lived undergrads splendidly got across this feeling in its brief 13 episodes. And it did that without getting preachy.
Hi, thanks for coming to our campus support group for virgins. I'm Nitz Walsh, and this is Cal Evans.
Hi, Cal. Instead, it gave viewers a healthy dose of humor, some of it nuanced, some of it broad, but all of it engaging.
You've read my mind, baby. You have read my mind.
Lots of TV shows revolve around real.
Let you try that one over there.
Featured scripts that were pitched at a knowing adult.
In me, and I'm not going to ignore it.
If I want you.
You want me to what? Forgot what you're gonna say. Happens to me all the time.
Starting with the premise that a mad scientist has cloned these and other famous figures, Clone High took that idea and ran with it in absurd, outlandish, and frequently tasteless directions.
Hiya, Kennedy.
I invaded her Bay of Pigs, if you catch my meaning.
It only lasted one season.
Pigs, if you catch my meaning.
It only lasted one season, but its 13 episodes contain some of the most riotously funny, if occasionally offensive moments ever animated for the small screen.
Getting into a new show can be a little uncomfortable, but once you get to know the rhythm of it, you'll be on your knees begging for more.
Will you two girls keep it down?
Number 3.
The way I feel. Dame I'd ever seen, and I never say dame except when creatively obligated by a film noir parody.
Featuring a duck gumshoe, brilliantly voiced by Jason Alexander, the show aimed squarely at adults, not kids.
Exhibit D4. Grandmama hasn't cut the cheese whiz once in the last 3 days. The air's so clear in here, we can actually see the other side of the room.
I didn't know we had a piano.
The title character was an unrepentant, sex-crazy alcoholic who on several occasions killed his seemingly unkillable assistants. Nothing was too dark for this show.
Good night, nurse.
Yet it remained screamingly funny, an examination of the unfairness of life, and of the self-destructive way people respond to it.
I tell you, going inside a person's head and making omniscient and absolute decisions on things we couldn't possibly know for certain is exhausting.
It sure is. Let's go to the dispensary and relax.
It sounds heavy, but it wasn't. It was heavenly. In a cynical way, that is.
There'll be no sodomy, or you'll get a lobotomy.
Sorry, I thought he was catatonic.
Do you agree with our